Welcome back, UFOFers and freaky fandomites, to another episode of the Fortress of Fandom podcast, the podcast where today three nerds sit around and talk about nerdy stuff. I'm Garrett. Today we are joined by Rachaline and Eric, both admins in the Facebook group. And today is it's kind of a very special, momentous occasion. Momentous? Is that a monumentous? That's the word I'm looking
you're
for.
Good.
Historical.
Historical.
Yeah.
We is the first. This hopefully will be the first YouTube video that we put up. So plus it's the 50th episode, and it's kind of I don't know, awesome that it kind of landed on the 50th episode that we'd be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. So 52 would maybe have been a little better to land on, but 50's probably as good as it's gonna get.
50's just fine.
Yeah, so came out a week ago today. This is going to be a spoiler episode, so if you haven't seen it, probably don't want to watch or listen. I mean, there's, if you haven't seen it but you've seen the original, you're probably okay. But I mean, there is definitely a lot of differences that we will be discussing tonight. So let's dive in. First off, just to get it out of the way, let's talk about the soundtrack. Junkie XL's compared to Danny Elfman's. Danny Elfman is a great composer in his own right, no doubt. Like, he's definitely, you know, got a great repertoire under his belt. But in my opinion, Junkie XL's soundtrack just makes this a whole completely different movie. Like, it's not even close.
And it makes it more of an art piece more than anything.
Yeah.
But Danny Elfman, is just another, run-of-the-mill superhero comic book movie. But, with Junkie XL putting in all these dope songs and these great soundtracks and, these long scenes, like when, damn, I lost my train of thought.
I think I know where you're going. Like the slow-mo scenes of all the different characters. Each different character had like almost their own kind of theme song. Like it's in my notes later on, but Aquaman with
like all those moments felt very special and like personal. Like you could really feel the emotion of the moment of the character. Like when the Flash was like saving. Are we getting there yet? Spoilers?
Yeah, no, we gave the spoiler warning, so we're good.
Oh no, right, you're gonna bring up the one thing. Oh, that's my favorite part, I think.
That part?
Yeah.
No, just like,
are you talking about like where he's basically running through the Speed Force and it's like right before he touches Cyborg?
Yeah, I really love that, like that soundtrack that's behind that. I think it's like a really awesome thing that really shines on the moment.
Oh yeah.
As far as what you're supposed to be feeling anyways.
Definitely. Yeah, the soundtrack is almost like a completely new character in and of itself. Like it's just crazy. Like I said, Danny Elfman's his soundtrack for the original, it was good. I liked the different callbacks to like Batman and Superman themes. throughout the movie. That was kind of neat. But Junkie XL, like he's a musical genius, and added so much to the movie. So yeah. I mean,
there were some parts that were very questionable with the music, though, that were, I think everybody knows what we're talking about in the beginning.
the
And
Icelandic
like
stuff.
Iceland, yeah. I don't know what the heck was going on there.
I kind of liked it.
I mean,
liked it.
yeah, it
But
was nice, but
No, the only reason I liked it was because of the one chick, and she takes his sweater and she's like smelling it, and it's like you don't have any women, and probably
It's
some
like-
men too, that they would love to sniff that sweater, and that's all I could think of. Like that, it's just perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And I love the Wonder Woman, the throat music. I don't know what that was. You know, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna try and do that. But I actually liked it. I know a lot of people kind of maybe didn't as much, but I liked it.
Yeah, I've definitely talked to some people who weren't a fan, but I mean that's really how Icelandic music sounds. And as somebody who obviously comes from the Nordic background, I really love Nordic and Icelandic music like that, the dissonance and the harmonies and all that jazz. So I really enjoyed it. But I can see, and I think it's, I mean, what's his name? Well, Junkie XL, he's I can't remember where exactly he's from, but he's from like Sweden or something, isn't he? Like Denmark or something like that.
It's one of those northern countries.
Yeah.
It's like he has a very northern European name.
But was that a Junkie XL choice, or was that a Zack Snyder choice?
I mean, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's great.
Yeah. This by far though, I mean, honestly, this is definitely Zack and Deborah's Snyder's best movie, hands down. Like, my opinion, their best movie ever. Like
To date.
Yeah. Yeah.
To date, until the sequel comes out.
Until hashtag restore the Snyderverse takes hold and we get what we
Until
want.
Justice League 2 comes out, part 2 comes out 10 years from now.
Yeah, for real.
I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely their best movie. I want more. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse needs to happen. Even if it just stays on HBO Max, like I would be so happy with, never seeing these in a big theater and watching them at home. That's totally fine. Totally fine. All right. I guess we'll start at the beginning. So it basically starts where Batman versus Superman ended, with Superman dying. Call back to Batman versus Superman at the end, where Lex Luthor has said, he said the bell's already been rung. A lot of people didn't understand what that meant, and this kind of explained it. Like, Superman dies, and his dying, screams kind of tell the universe that, the Kryptonian's dead. And, nobody's there to defend Earth anymore. So,
you know what? I never really noticed that reference until you brought it up. And that's really, really freaking cool, actually. Because, you know what? It ties into all the movies, all three: Man of Steel, BVS, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. And at the beginning, I was like, well, you know what? This is another weird moment, because I'm not understanding why these weird sound waves are going across. And I guess it's just some sort of metaphor now.
I didn't get it until actually the last time when we had all watched it together. And finally that kind of made sense, because the first time I watched it, I was the same way. Like, I didn't understand why the hell, what the hell is happening here? By the third time, it was like, okay, obviously this ties into what Lex had said. It just further shows the genius behind the whole thought process of all three movies. And also that beginning was way better than what I watched. I tried watching the other one and it was so bad. I mean, when you watch the first 15 minutes, I mean, there's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the first 10 minutes alone give more reason to the whole Justice League movie than the Justice League movie ever did, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how did Batman know about the parademons? And like,
how did the thug know?
Justice League was
like,
a mess.
Yeah. Like how did that low life criminal know like the basic plot line to the whole movie? Like right off the bat.
He knew way too much. And Batman just let him live.
Yeah.
You know,
Just let
this
him
murderous Batman that we've had for like the last 6-7 years.
doesn't even take him to GCPD, like nothing. Just lets him go after he robs his house. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and somehow these monsters just explode into like some weird
Yeah.
gooey hieroglyphics.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's what makes this movie so much better, Zack Snyder's, because it's not that. It's it's what his vision was meant to be.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an ode to everything we've all watched growing up. The Justice League cartoons. It's you got different comics. Just being referenced to. It's awesome. It's a bunch of fan service, and I think that's what makes it a historical moment, because we've never gotten this much from a company, from just from a movement.
Really,
and who knows how much power that actually gives us, because maybe it will work out.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm hoping. I mean, if like Rach says it takes 5 years, that's totally fine as long as we get it done. The thing is, like Zack Snyder, he had this vision from the beginning, from like Man of Steel time. Like he had this whole thing planned out in his head. He was working with the different directors for the different, the different movies. James Wan and Patty Jensen. Like so he was kind of imparting his vision onto them as they were making the solo movies and stuff. And then I don't know, Joss Whedon and the WB execs had to come in and ruin everything. But
absolutely,
Aquaman's whole arc makes way more sense.
Yeah, definitely. It all makes the whole movie makes more sense. It's just like when they came out with the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman. Like the Ultimate Edition is like leagues out of ahead of the theatrical version. It makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
And it's same with this one. But yeah. I guess I don't know, the easiest way that I could think of to do this was to go through like character by character and kind of explain the differences in like how much their story arcs were resolved. So we'll start off with the big baddie of this film, Steppenwolf.
He's light years better.
Yeah, so much better. Like so much better. It's ridiculous. He looks better. He
completely different.
Oh my gosh.
To be argued, because he doesn't really look the same at all.
He doesn't have a weird wrinkly prune plastic face.
Yeah, he got this cool like metal morphing armor.
The way it like flexes and everything is so scary and weird.
So cool.
And shiny. Spiky.
Yeah, he definitely looks way more formidable as an opponent. And he has
actual plot and like a reason to be there and do what he does.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever mentioned why he was how he betrayed Darkseid. But
Yeah.
like, you know, it just gives so much more depth to the character. Like,
Right.
I'm trying to think of a Marvel villain that might be good like that. Like the Vulture. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you remember how good he was in that? Like, I mean, there's not nearly as much depth, but you know, it's getting there with DC.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. He's got Killmonger's one that had a lot of depth
Yeah.
to him.
I was trying to remember the name of him.
Yeah,
I
he's
couldn't remember the name.
Steppenwolf.
I mean, if this wasn't the Justice League movie, if they could have focused more on Steppenwolf, I'm sure they could have done a lot with him.
Oh yeah, like I would watch a Steppenwolf movie. Like if they made a movie about him and his like conquest through the galaxy, you know, taking over worlds and stuff, like I would watch that. Like that, like no doubt.
The
With
Dark Side Conquest movie.
that would be
That
dope.
would be kind of dope.
With this
The
Steppenwolf.
origin story movie.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, like his reasoning for, you know, wanting to find the mother boxes is explained. Like there's really no explanation in the original one. He like in the original one he had this weird obsession with them. Like it was kind of borderline creepy the way he talked to him, like called him mother and stuff like that. Like I never really liked that. It was weird.
Yeah, and Superman, you know, dying in the beginning. It showed all the mother boxes, you know, waking up for a flash of a second.
Yeah.
It showed Lex Luthor talking to Steppenwolf. You know, so he's not just showing up out the blue like he did in Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It did show him talking to him.
Mhm.
It showed him at the end of Batman versus the Ultimate Edition as well.
Yeah,
like kind of the same.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. Just
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
a
right.
brief glimpse.
And I noticed that when I was watching it the other day, and I swear it wasn't on there before.
Wait, wasn't that a deleted scene?
It was the ultimate. It
so.
was the Ultimate Edition, and so it technically wasn't. I mean, I guess it's technically not canon. So they didn't have him in the theatrical version, so the look was completely different. Or that's how they got away with making him look completely different. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, he looks more intimidating. Going through my notes. Yeah, so like
There were some questionable things I noticed though. Like when his eyes turned blue, like what was up with that? Was he extra powered?
I guess just being being had, you know, have finally gotten the boxes all together and like being around their power, I guess. I don't know what that was about, but it like I mean, I don't know. It's kind of
Cyborg's eyes turn blue, wouldn't it have?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what.
I mean,
was that, but
I really. This is so much more of a step up. Like, I'm just saying we shouldn't appreciate what we got, but you know, there's still some weird things about this movie.
Yeah,
as well that I
definitely.
True. That was an odd one that I didn't pick up on at first. I do know that when let me see. Now I'm.
He has like dual spines too.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool,
weird muscular, structure. Yeah. But yeah,
I do like.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
And 7 fingers. He has 7 fingers.
Yeah.
He does have 7 fingers because my 12-year-old pointed that out.
2 thumbs.
He's like, you have 7 fingers. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. Also, the way that he talks to Diana is completely different. In the previous one, it was more of, you know what? I take that back. It's not just Diana. It's also her mom.
It's like
the way that
everyone. It's everyone. He talks to like even Cyborg. He like sees Cyborg in the original. He's like, "You were born of her." It's like that's weird. Like
right. it was really odd. I hated it, but it was obviously fixed in this one, which is fine, and I'm happy for it because it's more about his motivation of trying to get back into Darkseid's good graces instead of this weird obsession with the mother boxes and subjugating Wonder Woman and all the Amazonians.
Yeah,
which was just creepy.
Dude, that Amazon scene was done so much better too.
That was so much better.
Oh my god, it was so cool.
So much better.
I mean,
the way
they were all
Queen,
there
like,
that
actually
whole
came.
time though, like thousands of years, just waiting for that thing.
Yeah, like
I mean, I'm assuming they switch guards quite often, but damn, that's a lot of folks right there.
Just sitting there waiting. Yeah, crazy.
But yo, that scene was awesome. Oh my goodness.
The whole shrine sinking into the ocean, like that was crazy. Like thinking it was over and done with right there.
And it was like, it was their self-destruction button, like the plan C.
Yeah.
And you saw those giant boulders and pieces of cliff fly into the ocean, and when Steppenwolf hops out of it, it gives so much more desperation and emotion to the Queen in that chase. And like when he's throwing horses and stuff and just going damn. It is awesome. It was
crazy,
beautiful.
Yeah,
it's what we should have gotten in the first place.
Yeah, way more terrifying, a lot less creepy. That's like my biggest thing. He's a big old creep in the original one. Like, just I don't know.
It was so creepy, weird, and it was like almost like cringe.
Yeah.
And poorly like CGI'd.
Yeah.
It was gross. It was really bad.
Yeah, just all around. The boxes themselves, like how they work and stuff, like they were way better. It was explained a lot better. Like they weren't like, I mean, they were, what do they say? It's like a technology that like,
it's like reading a graphic novel. It takes time, but you get the story over that time, the complete story.
Yeah.
It's not reading or watching a watered down theatrical version.
Yeah, like I don't know. They explained really well how like the mother boxes, they were wanted by Steppenwolf and Darkseid, and they helped, conquer the worlds. Like it helped him conquer worlds easier. And then, it also explained that the Justice League wanted to get them, to prevent that, but not only to prevent Steppenwolf, but to prevent Darkseid from coming. That was like the big thing. Like in the original one, it was just to stop Steppenwolf. It wasn't necessarily, there wasn't anything after him. It was Darkseid, or there wasn't any Darkseid. In this, it explains like, kind of like Loki was in the first Avengers. Like he's just the first stepping stone. He's just the first big baddie. So you got to take care of all this stuff so you don't have to, you can deal with the big baddie later on. Also, the like using the box to resurrect Superman, like that was explained a lot better too. Like, what do they say?
They hold the core holds all the heat energy.
Yeah.
And like kinetic force and stuff. And
and like they said something to the effect of, you can burn a house down and all there is smoke, but then the mother box can take the smoke and build it back into a house. Something to that effect.
It was way better done in this than it was in the first one, because it was basically, they were just, it was like Aquaman had the biggest opposition to it, and it didn't really make sense. And they're just like, okay. And this one, it's like, no, we're doing it for this purpose. Everything was so meticulously explained that, it was very much like reading a comic book.
Yeah.
Just like Eric was saying, like it was very much like sitting there and reading a comic book and seeing it panel for panel.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It
It's
was
like watching a
way
comic
more
book.
explained.
You know,
And-
you could stop any
That
part of
whole-
that movie and it's like a beautiful, gorgeous, like splash page or panel
Yeah.
from a comic.
I mean, if they had, I think at one point they were contemplating releasing this movie into segments, and I assume it was going to be like the different parts of the movie. And if they, even if they had done that, like, and released it kind of like as a comic, bit by bit, that would have been, I don't know, that would have been really kind of cool for me anyway. I mean, I'm glad we got it the way we did, all in one piece. But I mean, I think the way that they were setting it up for that would have worked as well.
I think just like a graphic novel, it might just watch
Yep.
better as a movie as opposed to like being episodic.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I get your gist, and yeah, you're definitely right.
And let's see. Let's take a minute and talk about Darkseid. Like, he's just like way more intimidating than anything we've ever seen.
I never want to see that guy in a dark alley.
Oh man, like
No, that dude is scary. Scary.
Like, I'd be scared seeing Thanos for sure, but like seeing him compared to Darkseid, like I'd go like hold Thanos's hand, rather than
that whole Lord of the Rings
Darkseid
scene, and the last movie it was Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
In this movie, it's Darkseid.
Yeah.
Or
Darkseid.
what's his younger name?
Uxis. Yeah.
Uxis.
Yeah, I think
Uxis.
is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darkseid was
somehow there's the anti-life equation there, and somehow they forgot it was there.
So this is my thinking. They never my thinking is they were looking for the anti-life equation. This is what I got from it anyway. They were looking for it, never really found it, never knew where it was. Just so happened to be on Earth, the planet that he got wrecked on. And there was no way of, I mean, he smacked the ground, and it kind of appeared, but like from the ground's view, there's really no way to tell what that is. And
he was too busy getting messed up by Green Lanterns.
Too busy getting
wrecked. The guy almost got hacked and
absolutely murked.
And then, over the course of time, the mother boxes being on Earth, they kind of figured out, we're able to.
That scene was so much cooler too.
Way cooler.
That was way better.
Yeah.
Way more well done.
So yeah. my wife, when she was watching it with me, she leaned over to me. She's like, "I'll bet Zeus got so much tail after this, after this." Film.
Did you see the way that
who was saying?
At him,
someone said he looked like Gerard Butler and Carl Urban mixed.
Yeah.
That was me.
That was tripping me out.
Oh, it's so funny.
That's perfect.
Because he looks like this perfect. It's a perfect mixture of Billy Butcher and Gerard Butler from 300.
From 300. I get it. Yeah. Leonidas. Yeah.
But
definitely.
If you look at the Queen, like right after all that stuff happens and like Darkseid flying away, you can see her just look up right over at Zeus, like, damn, dude.
Like, yeah, baby.
And that's when Deanna was conceived. Yeah.
There was supposed to be so much more Green Lantern in this movie. From not so much more, but more Green Lantern than what we were given.
Yeah.
You guys notice Kilowog lying dead at Superman's feet in the nightmare sequences?
I did notice that. Yeah. Noticed that.
Oh man, that was terrible.
Yep. I like
Martian Manhunter was supposed to be John Stewart.
At the end, yeah, they were supposed to be. It's actually supposed to be two Green Lanterns that showed up on Bruce's door. But yeah, I like the.
Wouldn't it have been cool if it was like Sinestro? and Jon Stewart.
That'd be sweet. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
but like Green Lantern Sinestro.
Yeah, before he went bad. That'd be dope.
Justice League Part 2.
Speaking of Zach,
too late.
yeah, Zach toyed with the idea of including Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern in the film. Like he, kind of thought about having him be the one lying dead in the nightmare scene, something like that.
I would have been okay with
That
it.
would have been, oh my God, that would have been crazy. I don't know that would have been one of the things that might have upset me as a Zack Snyder fan, because I'm also a huge Green Lantern fan, and that movie, like, while the acting wasn't terrible, it was just executed extremely poorly.
Yeah, that's a different topic for another day.
Yeah, and that's that's Deadpool right there too. That'd be disrespectful to Deadpool.
True. Apparently, Ryan Reynolds hadn't seen it until a couple weeks ago either. So you're not the only one, Rach.
I think he got drunk though.
Yeah, he did. He was drinking through the whole thing. Live streamed it on Twitter or something like that. But right. So let's move on to Batman. Bruce Wayne. All right. So, I mean, the good thing about it, so Ben Affleck to me is like the perfect Batman Bruce Wayne combo that we've had to date.
Can I just say I was really wrong about him? I was wrong. I thought it was a terrible idea. I thought it was going to be a disaster. Who the heck would even pick this guy?
Yeah.
And I'm wrong. He's the best. I love him so much.
I do too.
He does a great Batman. I can't lie. He's like a vicious, murderous son of a bitch Batman, relentless. You can tell he's like plagued by the demons of his past.
Yeah.
In BVS.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of character development between Ben and the Zack Snyder's Justice League, because he's not all like dark and depressing anymore and trying to kill Superman. He's trying to, to be the beacon of hope that they lost, which was, Superman. And in Justice League, you could tell Ben Affleck had an alcohol problem during those reshoots.
Yeah.
I mean, not just during those reshoots, but
I mean, it was a long time.
I mean, you could tell. Yeah, you could see like when he's absolutely sloshed in these movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I can notice. And when he was filming this originally with Zack Snyder and the rest of the guys and gals, he looked great, and he looked great in this movie, and it really reflected in the role of Batman too.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot better. It was a lot less corny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not corny. And like I noticed, like there was several times where like dude is sitting there and he keeps talking about like faith, like he has faith, whatnot. And one of the last things he says to Alfred as they're getting ready to like go off to the final battle is he's like, faith, Alfred, faith. It was such a contrast to what we saw in Batman vs Superman, where he was acting on the assurance that this guy is going to eventually go off the rails.
Right.
I'm kind of wondering if that was like, was that something he did recently after the Justice League came out, like with the faith? Because to be honest, that like, I don't think before the tragedy that happened, he would have put that in his movie.
So
not with the tone of BVS.
As far as I know, the only thing that like was shot during Zack Snyder's reshoots was mainly the nightmare scene. Like pretty much like 99% of the rest of the movie was all supposed to be used in the original, in Zack Snyder's version. Like it was all had been shot before. So like I said, the only thing that I'm aware of, like mainly, It was the nightmare scene at the very end that was reshot.
I mean, but they could have like, you know, switched up the audio and did some small edits and stuff too.
Possibly, and yeah, that could have been. I mean, that could have been could have been the case. And who knows? But I mean, it like Rach said, it shows his character progression from going from from telling Alfred if there's a 1% chance that he could destroy the world, we're gonna have to
being a
act on that.
xenophobic asshole.
Yeah. To going from that to we need Superman. He's gonna show up. Like, I have faith that he's going to. It's kind of it really does show
full circle.
Yeah, it shows that even though he's been jaded over the years, and he's lost faith in humanity, obviously from working in Gotham for so long.
And the death of Dick
Grayson, and having to deal with all that, I'm sure would wear down anyone, and that's kind of I mentioned this in during our watch party, but the savior type character that Superman, he's obviously that in the comic books, but the way that Zack Snyder really emphasized that in his movies, it really kind of it shows for sure in every character almost.
Mm-hmm.
So
in every shot.
Yeah. Definitely every shot.
For sure. So yeah, just starting off, like at the very beginning, even we see Bruce Wayne trekking over this mountain that apparently, like,
you don't see Batman actually for like an hour and a half into the movie or something.
No.
Yeah, did you even
maybe not even
Batman?
not even 2 hours into it, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't quite recall, but it was a long time.
It's pretty long. Yeah.
Yeah, you see a lot more Bruce Wayne in this.
And we were shown clips of this opening scene during the in one of the original trailers, with him interacting with Arthur Curry, kind of set really helped set the tone of Bruce's urgency to get everybody together, to kind of replace Superman if they could, which I think did a lot better job than the Justice League opening scene, like we already discussed.
And at this point, I don't think Bruce Wayne really cares who knows he's Batman.
Yeah,
because like, how many people know?
I know. I think he's definitely being a lot less careful on who he's dropping that info on. But I don't know. His need for redemption for what happened in Batman versus Superman felt a lot more genuine, a lot more sincere in this movie. He definitely felt like the other, like Justice League, it from cutting it down. I mean, I don't know that it was supposed to originally be over 4 hours. I think, when they got the okay to do the Snyder cut, Zack Snyder kind of threw in everything that he could in it, because I think originally it's supposed to be like 3.5, but even going from 3.5 to 2 hours with the Justice League, like there's a lot cut out. And so it felt really rushed. And so, like, to me anyway, the like everybody's arcs, everybody's story arcs felt a lot more genuine, a lot less rushed. You're able to digest it a lot better, in my opinion.
And I will say that I like the interactions a lot more. I mean, there was more Alfred. And the interactions between Batman, Bruce Wayne, Alfred, and him, I mean, it was gold. Like,
Yeah.
Alfred constantly questioning him. That's
Being
what
the voice
Alfred
of reason.
do. Exactly. And telling him, well, maybe you're not cut out to be a recruiter. Maybe you're not. And he's like, no, I'm still going to do it.
Yeah.
Also, I like the touch when he has them all come back to the Batcave, and he's like, yeah, you know, I brought some friends.
Yeah.
Alfred's like, what the hell?
He's
like totally shocked. Like,
He's
I don't
like,
even know if I
yo,
have
is
enough.
this a dude? Is this the dude that hacked my car?
he's
Right.
like,
My
But
spider car? My
did you
bat
notice,
car.
like, Bruce says to him, to all his friends, yeah, I work for him.
mhm.
And I thought that was a nice little touch there, because they have, you know, a very
I mean, it
obviously
does kind of
Bruce loves
feel like that, because because Alfred is kind of like the mission brains behind it.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Always
doing all
feeding
of this
Batman
stuff.
the information.
Yeah. Them. I mean, first off, him bringing all them into the cave and Barry not being like, wow, it's a cave. It's a bat cave. Like, that was, I was so happy that wasn't in there. But like, Alfred seeing Batman bring friends home is probably like what my parents felt when I was a teenager, bringing, like, as a loner kid, bringing friends home. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
he's not, yeah, like
He's
like
not
being
gonna die
being
alone.
yeah, being happy that I had friends, but like being kind of really concerned about the type of friends that I was bringing home at the same time.
Right.
But I don't know, it's kind of funny. Batman's tech was like his
Way better.
his gauntlets, like, those were so cool. Like, uh
And I love that Alfred built them.
yeah,
Like, he
yeah,
built them for him, and they just, like most everything that Batman has, he has something to prevent him from dying from some super being trying to kill him.
mm-hmm.
So it's great.
Thanks to Alfred.
Yeah.
Alfred.
The transport carrier, like, I think I like that whole thing too, where they were working on it and they couldn't get it to work, and then Cyborg finally came in and is like, she wants to fly. I thought that was kind of cool. And then at the very end, like, the freaking tank that Batman's standing on, that's like straight out of The Dark Knight Returns, like, that was just
good.
so good. His interactions with everybody really were like, a lot better. Especially Diana. Like, I loved their relationship in this. Like, it was a lot. I don't know.
I always preferred, the Bruce and Diana relationship.
I like that one
What
too.
was that? Was that in the cartoons? You saw that?
I
Like,
forget.
they were
I
yeah,
remember
there
it
was a
young.
few.
flirting.
There was a few where, like, in the animated versions, where she's like flirting with him hard, and he's just like in Batman mode, and like, yeah, like when they like touched hands and stuff like that, all felt a lot more genuine. Like, it could have led to something, rather than her checking up on him and helping him take his suit off, and while he's all banged up, or putting
How
up.
do you think Steve Trevor
What is-
would feel about that?
I don't know.
It'd be tight match.
Yeah, and also, like you kind of mentioned earlier, Eric, he just looked, in the reshoots that Zack did, he looked so much healthier.
Yeah, definitely. I rewatched that nightmare scene, and remember what I said about the triple chin? I take that back. That was just the cow.
Yeah,
That was the cowl.
That was the cow. They look great in that.
Aw.
And speaking of, while we're talking about it, how about that nightmare scene? That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Crazy. It's so crazy.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Hearing Batman say that to the Joker,
Yeah.
well, I screamed.
That whole
I screamed.
interaction just was like, I don't know. There's I saw a lot of people didn't like it, but in my opinion, like that whole Batman Joker interaction was everything. Like
It was intriguing. Like I want more of that.
it's
Like I
like
want to know what the heck's going on.
yeah.
Like I want
I
to know
want
what's
to know
going on
why
with
he
this, all of it. This is why, the new
Mhm.
Flash movie needs to just lead eventually to Justice League Part 2.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
if
Yeah.
like I said,
hit
if
that multiverse once.
Warner Brothers wants to go ahead and and make Justice League canon and do that, that's fine. But like as long as Flash makes a multiverse and we get to keep Snyderverse and continue on with that as well, like that'd be money. That'd be money in the bank for Warner Brothers. But I mean, speaking of Joker, Jared Leto, like he
I
needs,
thought he looked really cool.
dude.
I liked it.
I want a Jared Leto Joker movie. I want to see him uh play with that character more because I mean I was one. I've always been one that liked what liked what he did in Suicide Squad. It was different, and I can see why people didn't like it. But like he brought so much more just in this 5 minutes, 5-10 minute scene.
Yeah, I know.
He was
It showed a lot of history that we didn't ever get to see because
yeah
we're
And
being
that's the
robbed of
movie I
Ben
want.
Affleck's Batman movie.
That's the movie I want. I want to see Robin die, basically.
yeah
I want
Death
to
in the
see
Family would be
Batman's brain broke.
uh-huh.
That's what I want
You want
to
to
see.
see him get beat his brains bashed in with a crowbar.
Um,
Zack
I know.
Snyder
I mean, it
wanted
sounds
to
messed
talk
up, but
about
yeah.
how the Joker killed Dick Grayson in Wayne Manor, and that's why Bruce Wayne's living in that glass mansion on the lake
Huh.
because he
Right.
can't stand to be in there.
Huh. That's
And
a
after, and towards the end, I saw them walk into there and like, this would be a nice place for a table. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of messed up, Bruce.
that's funny. So I guess Ezra Miller, he was on set for Fantastic Beasts 3. And so he actually was green screened in via Zoom call for that scene. Like he wasn't even there. That was kind of funny, I
Oh
thought.
wow.
Yeah. It's cool to see Deathstroke going from the wanting to kill bats, in the first post scene, I guess, from fighting with Batman. I think that would be cool to explore. Definitely want to see Ben Affleck's Batman movie with.
I want to see Apocalypse Mara. That's what I want to see.
That'd be cool.
And I want to see Aquaman with a hook before he dies too. That would be really cool too. Most dope. And very befitting probably too.
Yeah. And then let's see. From what I understand, Warner Brothers told Zack Snyder that he couldn't do any reshoots, couldn't do the nightmare scene, but he he did it anyway. He basically paid for everybody to come and do reshoots with his own money. So that was pretty cool. I thought it added so much more to the movie. I don't
It
know.
added a lot of hype for potential future is what it did.
See, and
because a lot of people want to see more of this.
And I'm not like I can see how Zack Snyder did it to kind of just cut it and and end things, but at the same time, like you seeing what we did with release the Snyder cut and him knowing what we did, like part of me thinks that he's like he did that on purpose, like getting us to hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
I mean, I'm completely all right with him taking a 10-year hiatus to figure out where he would go with this.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm happy with what we got. If this is all we get, you know what? So be it. I think it's freaking awesome. I'm so happy we got this. This is what us longtime comic book DC fans
Yeah.
deserve.
Definitely. And like I said, I think he has a general idea of where he wanted to go with this, and so it would be really cool to see it played out. There's been talk. I did hear some rumors that if hashtag restore the Snyderverse didn't didn't take ground, and Warner Brothers didn't finally give into our demands, that Zack Snyder is going to be working with DC in continuing his story via graphic novel and in comic books and possibly even animated movies.
Man, no one wants that though. We all
I
want to
know.
see the real thing.
I mean, yeah, I'd rather see the real thing, but if
I think at some point
it's a
someone at
well-done
WB is going to
anime, I'll
wisen
take it
up.
too.
Yeah, hopefully they wisen up. But yeah, I'll take it any way I can get it. I just want to know.
Right.
I just want to know how this works.
I think it would be really cool if they were to like just explain the rest or how they got up to the nightmare story and all that. If there was like maybe like an anime in the style of the cartoons that they've been putting out these last, not the cartoons but the animated movies they've been putting out.
Yeah.
That would be really, really cool.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That'd be nice.
All right, let's move on to Wonder Woman. Starting off with her intro scene. Did you guys happen to watch the side-by-side comparison clips?
I haven't seen the side by side, but I know it's vastly better. There's a lot more footage in there.
The other one was lame.
I
don't understand how they cut her so much.
I don't either.
I mean, like the one, it showed the guy's like basically the splatter from his head hitting the wall, and that was fantastic. I love that.
Yeah.
But I mean, also they neutered Stannis Baratheon, which kind of pissed me off. They made him seem like way more lame, and he was like lightweight, terrifying.
Yeah.
I why cut out that scene with the little girl?
I don't know. Like, I don't understand either. Like, I thought it was really, I thought it was really cool how they made her like so much more brutal than we've typically seen her, especially in her movies. Like, I think Diana knows. I mean, this is in comics too, but I think she knows like the line. I think she knows when to incapacitate and then when to completely annihilate. Like, and she was in
She's
Annihilation.
A warrior.
Yeah, she was in that
5,000-year-old warrior.
And
princess, warrior princess.
Yeah. The interactions after she got done taking out all of them, like with all the kids, making sure they're okay. Like, that's Wonder Woman. Like that.
Everything you want to be. Yeah. That's another part of another thing. Like, I think they may have added. You're right.
Yeah. No, they didn't. That was already there.
Like, I don't know.
I meant like in a reshoot. No, they didn't. She said that. That's a great line.
It gave me chills. Like when she asked that little girl, are you okay? She's like, can I be you? She says, you can be whatever you want to be. Like that scene right there. Like, this is my opinion. I'm going to say it, like, so much more women empowerment than Captain Marvel had in the entire movie, period.
I never even watched Captain Marvel.
I never saw it either. It was like, she's not even really utilized very much in Infinity War or Endgame, so it really just didn't matter to me to watch.
Yeah.
I've always gravitated more towards Wonder Woman anyway in DC, and I think Gal Gadot is like, she's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that she looks at that little girl and she's like, she calls her a princess, which you would expect Diana to do. And then says, you can be whatever you want to be. That's something Diana would say. That's something straight out of a comic book that she would say because that's just who she is.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. It was such a really lovely and very beautiful scene.
Mm-hmm.
I also
especially when she absolutely incinerated that guy.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was the best. Her fighting scenes in this were far more drawn out. One of my favorite shots from the entire movie, because it reminds me of what I would imagine a comic book panel would look like, is when she's coming over top of Steppenwolf, and there's just this view of her.
Yeah. He's looking
and
at her like
a Greek fresco or something.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect. And it's pure Diana.
Uh-huh.
I love
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Just pure Zack Snyder.
Yeah, that too. But it was awesome. That part definitely gave me chills seeing that.
I want to say in that scene where it introduces Wonder Woman into the movie, the change in music really, enhanced the scene too.
Oh yeah. Oh
definitely.
Yeah. I was like, at first, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, they didn't include her, her theme song, but they brought it in later.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said,
they worked it in slowly and then picked up. Yep. And
it worked really well. Her connections with the the different mostly with Vic Stone, like with Cyborg, he like her interaction with him, like I don't know, it seemed a lot more genuine when she was trying to get him to to come help him out, and he's like F the world, and she's just like, listen, I've been there too, like I know how you're feeling.
And he's not just creepily stalking her.
Yeah, he's just not. Yeah, he's not some emo teenager in a hoodie.
I mean, he kind of is, but he's not like
still kind of is. But he's got. I mean, we'll get to him later. He's definitely got a reason to be. I liked her Tomb Raider scene going Lara Croft.
Oh yeah, that was so awesome.
She found really the dark side, but her choice of wearing completely white is pretty neat.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
I don't understand how they cut that out of the theatrical thing.
Dude,
that was like so cool.
So much more, like the history of Darkseid in the first battle and everything. Like knowing what they're going up against, it's not just Steppenwolf. It's it's a lot bigger than one guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the whole the Amazon shooting the arrows and them explaining even like that, like that whole ritualistic kind of thing where it wasn't just she's gonna figure it out. Like no, like
does Diana even return to Themyscira in the movie?
So that was supposed to, no, not in this movie, but that was supposed to that, and then her at the end. I think there's something at the end where she's holding an arrow or something, but it was supposed
just
to
looking up in the distance.
Same arrow of Artemis.
Yeah,
she's holding it and she's like standing there at wherever it was, the Acropolis, or wherever the hell it was.
Right.
And she's looking wistfully in the direction of where, her little island is.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like she wants to go back.
Well, and that was that, and the interaction with Steppenwolf, him kind of jabbing at her that she wasn't there to save the Amazons.
She's worried about him.
Yeah, that was supposed to lead up to Wonder Woman 3, her going back to Themyscira and taking her place as queen. So we'll see if that happens.
I would have liked to have seen like a potential Wonder Woman become one of Darkseid's Furies. But it looks like Zack Snyder killed her in that future, so never mind.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
would have been fucking awesome.
Also, her scenes with Alfred, her interactions with him was like,
With the tea.
yeah, it made me laugh. I I was thinking, he's this British guy trying to teach this 5,000-year-old woman how to pour tea. She probably knows better than him, but she's being really polite about it. You know, it was just kind of funny. So like that
And
raises the
him being
question.
Alfred, he doesn't notice.
Yeah, it raises the question though. Who would make better tea? The Brit or the Amazon? It'd be kind of a interesting interesting thing to discuss. But yeah.
I don't know. I think it might be
When
Alfred.
she at the end of the movie when they're fighting Steppenwolf, and that final beheading into the portal, that was ultimate badassery.
Oh my gosh,
Like that was amazing.
like he was already dead and going back.
Yeah, when Aquaman just
Yeah.
speared in through his chest, and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah, and then to add insult to injuries, he just like totally lops his head off as he's going back through. That was insane.
Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness, that's the kind of stuff that makes me want more.
Yeah,
Right.
That exact kind of stuff is like, okay, they did this. Now, you know what? Darkseid was right there. He's gonna do something. Like, we need this.
yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to Aquaman. Aquaman also had. I mean, he was probably the least changed of the characters, but even his changes were.
He was a lot more dull. He wasn't as much fun.
Yeah, he definitely went from being the himbo to more brooding and
an alcoholic.
Yeah,
who don't give a shit about pollution.
Yeah,
but it did explain a few things. They did add, like the scene with Volko, which
oh my goodness, that was awesome. Like William Dafoe, that was
hell
great.
of a lot more. Also him, everybody going through all this stuff with like their dads and whatnot, and then at the very end, he's saying peace out to Mira and Volko. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go see my dad.
Yeah,
I thought that was a nice touch. Like,
and I think I understand why they added the bubble too, to talk.
Yeah,
it wasn't so they could talk. It was so he could drop the armor and the trident on the ground and
at his feet,
give it some weight and stuff. Give the scene more emotion.
Yeah, definitely.
But Marvel fans won't understand.
They won't get that. Yeah, it explains how he got his trident, got his armor. Like he wasn't. I don't know. That was the weirdest thing in the original. How he was just like randomly swimming around and happened to come across where they were holding the mother box. It's like,
that made sense.
Like he came to the right place at the right time just because. Like that's lazy writing. It's so lazy.
Yeah. And in Zack Snyder's Justice League, this is a place he comes to for, when he's looking to be mindful and meditate on himself and everyone around him.
Yeah.
Right.
So can we talk about real quick just how well Zack Snyder is able to combine visuals and music, because that whole the scene where he saves the guy from the boat and walks off the pier to "There's a Kingdom," like that.
Oh, that was great. Yeah,
dude, that scene gave
awesome.
me chills. Like I got chills watching that. Like that.
I think
so well.
Those scenes, how you were saying, it was supposed to be a 3.5 hour movie. I think all those scenes with the long extended slow-mo with the music, I think that was all like
it might have been drawn out there.
Yeah. I saw something from IGN that 24 minutes of this movie is slow motion.
Just slow motion. I could believe it. I could believe it.
Hey, whatever, it works.
I was okay with it.
And
Like, I
most
don't-
parts, it works. I mean, there
Yeah.
we'll get to that when we get.
Then there was the only thing that I thought was weird was Mara's accent, how she suddenly had a British accent, but I mean it's whatever.
I didn't. Okay, her lines in the nightmare thing where she's like, "I want to stab him in the heart,"
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm just like, trying not to laugh,
I was like,
and I'm like, why do I
what?
want to laugh?
What
didn't
is
like
going on?
it.
I mean,
I didn't like.
I don't know. It's weird. It was just weird. I don't know that it's a little continuity thing that it shouldn't matter. But she was freaking. She like when she when she was pinned against or pinned by Steppenwolf, and he's like, "You're not gonna get away this time." She's like, "I'm not trying to," and like starts to freaking blood bend his liquids out of his face. Holy crap! I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's." Like might be Amber Heard, but she's dope.
Big bad herself.
Yeah. Like that's straight up savage.
That was good.
Yeah, for real. Moving on to Superman. Talk about some of the
so much better.
Oh my gosh. No more CGI face for one. Like that's the biggest thing. Like holy crap.
They ruined Henry Cavill's face, and I'm in love with that man. He made me so sad.
Oh my god.
It really took so much away from that first movie too.
Yeah.
Because like you were busy like trying to understand his face, like you couldn't process it properly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was weird. Yeah, the CGI, like I don't know. We don't get, I mean, he's comparatively speaking, he's in this movie less than he is the original movie. He comes in probably about halfway through the Justice League version, but he's not in this, except for the last third, maybe fourth of the movie. I think he comes in like with an hour and a half, maybe closer to an hour left of the movie. So there's really not a lot of Superman in this one. But I mean, just even though it's not as much, ratio wise, he's like is so much more to Superman when he shows up finally.
Yeah, I mean, we finally got Black Suit Superman, so
finally.
Oh my goodness, that was awesome.
So another thing that
he was just a savage too.
Dude,
he just did not care with Steppenwolf.
Like there's something definitely changed when he died and came back. Like and that whole resurrection thing, like them discussing bringing him back, like it wasn't, I don't know. That made a lot more sense than, oh yeah, we've got to bring him back because he's our only hope. But then then the other people are like, but what about Pet Sematary? Like that was, I don't know, that was dumb. Like Pet Sematary, that was stupid.
When that
I've never even seen Pet Sematary.
Yeah, the book's better, definitely. Yeah, the original movie. If you're gonna watch one of the movies, watch the original movie, not the remake. But yeah, that like them discussing that was
it went in all. Okay, so in Justice League, it was all Batman's idea.
Mm-hmm.
It was Batman's idea to bring Superman back. It was Batman's idea to get them all together. It was Batman's idea to have Lois standing there because he might know that it didn't make sense and it was stupid. And it also took away from the fact that Lois is grieving.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Like she loved him more than anything.
Yeah.
And the last thing he said to anybody on Earth was that she was his world and that he loved her.
Mm-hmm.
So to show her grieving and then for her to be the one to stand there and he's like, holy crap, I remember you.
Yeah.
and feel safe with her to go away. That, honestly, that does more justice to Lois Lane,
Yeah.
who is awesome. And,
And she's more natural, and that was like more naturally placed in the movie too.
Yeah.
Batman didn't call her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like
it's
that,
like, yo, show up.
that was a lot. That was a lot cooler. But, at the same time, Martian Manhunter almost royally screwed everything over by getting Lois Lane to go back to work. If he had gone, one day before and got her to go to work one day before, Batman would be a lot toastier. But
get fried chicken.
Yeah. But I liked it. I agree. Her arc, where she was grieving most of the way through the movie. Jimmy Olsen being the cop instead of the guard at what is it? Stryker Island or wherever Barry's dad was being held. That's a nice touch. But yeah, I thought like the stuff they cut out of the fight scene when he comes back, like why cut that out? Like,
it doesn't make sense to cut it out in the context of the story either.
And
it was like they were like, we don't need this.
It's like,
so we'll just get rid of
an
this.
extra 20 seconds, like of him dodging Flash running into Aquaman. Like, there's a couple other things too, but like that was the biggest thing. Like, boom, like that, like, and that just shows how freaking. I mean, Flash is fast, but when Superman wants to be fast, he can be fast too. And I don't know, that whole thing too was like with Aquaman and Flash. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like that.
Aquaman looks like he wants to kill him.
Yeah.
Like hat number 1 or hat number 2.
Yeah. Like Barry. Barry Flash is coming up next, but just really quick, his like he's still the comedic relief, but his jokes are a lot funnier in this version. Like he's not like in Justice League he was borderline cringy, haha, like stupid, haha. This is way better. Yeah, like I'm so sorry. Like hat A, hat B, like that was, I don't know. It was all. But back to Superman. Black suit. We talked about that. Zack Snyder apparently toyed with the idea of giving Superman a mullet along with the black suit.
Oh my God, they should have. They should have.
You know what? He looked good in long hair.
Yeah.
He looked good in long hair because of, The Witcher, which he's awesome into.
Mullets are in right now too.
Wait, what?
Mullets are in right now too.
Oh yeah, they're way in.
Oh yeah, they are right. Dude, you know what? That was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, a little bit.
It definitely was.
But at the same time, like, if his beard didn't grow while he was dead, then how would his hair grow while he was dead? So I can understand that, but
yeah.
But yeah, the scene where after he dons the black suit and he has both of his dads talking to him, or like their voices running through his head.
Bald.
So powerful, such a powerful scene. Just crazy. And then going back to Lois, like the hints and the nods towards possible super baby coming along. Like, yeah, be crazy. There was one thing.
You remember at the ending when Cyborg's listening to the tape and his dad's talking about how they got to be there for now and the future and the people yet to be. I think that was a nod towards that supposed child.
Could be.
Yeah.
there was
I didn't even think about that.
there was one rumor. I don't know how true it is. It was kind of a weird one, but one rumor that Zack Snyder had plans for Bruce Wayne to raise the child instead of them for some reason. I don't know what, you know.
I think it was like something like so I guess Superman and Lois couldn't have a baby, so that Batman would have donated his stuff to her so they could have a baby. But it was born a normal human without powers.
Then that would be,
and then they just raise it to be Batman or
that'd be
something.
Damian. That would be Damian Wayne.
Essentially, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. In this weird Zack Snyder universe.
Yeah.
It-
Weird.
I don't understand that.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was just some article I read. It was probably just some clickbait.
Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, Superman done way better. Like his whole, like the not impressed line when he's about to wreck Steppenwolf. Like, oh,
I really want to see evil Superman though.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
definitely.
Evil
I think there's a
Superman
lot to be
is-
explored there.
Yes.
Like, imagine being the most powerful being in the universe and just having the power to absolutely, demolish anything in front of you.
Yeah. Total
And-
Homelander, but
and
like times 1,000.
But like sincere and like,
Yeah.
with a human touch to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I wonder. So, okay. So when they're in the Genesis chamber and they're bringing him back to life, and you see, Jonathan
Flashback.
Kent's picture like going into the water, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so first of all, they finally explained that. Like it made sense. Like it's not just floating in the water. I think what it was doing was it was like, I don't know, absorbing his essence or something through the picture. And that's how like he could hear both of them, both Jor-El and Jonathan speaking as he was going to get his suit. But I also
see that.
wonder if, because of the fact he had, okay, so he had his Kryptonian parents, but he had his Earth parents. Why would he go absolutely, bananas in a Nightmare universe? Even if Lois died, why would he go against all of his morals and everything else? That's what I want to see explained.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be, something else along
Right.
with that.
It can't be just Lois dying. It has to be something
It's gotta
else.
be.
That's kind of why I think that he changed some of the, like, there's the original 2017 Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then there's what we've got now, which is, the 2021
Yeah.
Zack Snyder.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
but
The change, I think he could have explained that in his previous version, but since he had to wrap it all up in this,
but at the same time, like it was nodded at, it was hinted at even in Batman versus Superman with Barry Allen
Right.
coming back and telling Bruce that Lois is the key. So I like Zack Snyder takes, he's taken a lot of influence from a lot of different comic books. We know that he's a comic book nerd, and so there's some very heavy influence of Injustice, that we can see in the nightmare scenes,
which is an amazing comic book series.
Yeah, crazy good.
It's awesome.
So yeah, like I said, we need to get #restore the Snyderverse going, so we can see that, because it would be dope. But yeah, let's move on to the Flash. Flash and Cyborg, obviously had the biggest changes to their stories. Well, with the Justice League, like Joss Whedon did Flash and Cyborg so dirty. It's crazy. So, yeah. We'll start with his introduction scene because it was amazing. Just crazy, amazing. Like all the introduction scenes were phenomenal.
His introduction scene was the one with Iris, right?
Yeah. Him
Yeah.
trying to get a job at the pet store, and them locking eyes, and yeah.
I think that was a questionable scene, to be honest.
You did?
Yeah, I mean, because Iris doesn't play into any other part of the movie at all, and like with
But
the Flash being the Flash, he could have just vibrated through the thing, and just small little things like that bug me.
like through the windows and stuff. Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, and he's trying to get a job there, and he's like being creepy, not wearing shoes, and feeding dogs random sausages. After there's some giant wreck outside, like,
Okay.
it just didn't add up to a whole lot.
You went in a different way than I thought you were going, but I can see all that. Like, yeah, I can see that he walking around with bare shoes after the window just exploded. Like, why?
It just felt like it didn't belong in this movie. Like it should have been part of the Flash movie instead.
Yeah.
Like what we should have gotten, in my opinion, was like just a quick flashback origin to how he got his powers. Because I don't think they ever touch on that in this universe.
They did a little bit when they were when
Just with like being metahuman and stuff, but like I want to see when like the culmination of the powers. You see everybody like when everybody else realizes.
I can see that. Yeah, I can understand that. But at the same time, like it establishes that he's been doing this for a while. He's not just going around and pushing people out of the way and running away. That was the biggest irk with me, like with his character in the Justice League. Like that's not what Flash does. He doesn't just run around and push people out of the way. Like it feels like, in his words, it's an oversimplification of what he does.
I think Zack Snyder absolutely loves the Flash because he
yeah.
can just film everything he does in slow motion.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I was actually talking to my husband about it. And when it comes to the Flash's scenes, first of all, they were awesome. Second of all, you have to do, when you're dealing with a character that moves that fast, you have to have it in slow motion.
Mhm.
You just have to. It's going to be a part of any movie, whatever medium it's in. You're going to have to show it slowly in order to understand really what's going on.
Yeah.
To see it from that character's point of view.
Like Quicksilver in the X-Men movies. Yeah.
Exactly. And you, again, because of the nature of the character, what they're doing, you have to slow it down for the audience so they can understand what the character is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Flash, it was done well. And, that final part where he's finally going into the Speed Force and he's doing like basically his superpower, which is running through time.
Yeah.
It was shown brilliantly. And again, tying that soundtrack into it, like we mentioned earlier, when the music crescendos and you see him coming up behind Cyborg, whose head is moving forward, and he just boink, and it sends him right into it. I mean, like, I remember, like, I had tears in my eyes because it was like, I've been reading Flash comics for, I'd probably say at least the past 6 years. I finally started really getting into them, and I found that I love the character. And that was brilliantly portrayed and acted. He wasn't stupid and lame. And the whole thing with him laying on Diana wasn't there, and I'm very happy.
Yeah.
So,
No, yeah, none of that. None of the Bat Cave, like geeking out, and no Pet Cemetery, like we mentioned. Definitely, like Joss Whedon made Flash an oversimplification of what he's like. I mean, really, Flash is he's so OP in the comics. Like it's ridiculous.
I mean, he made Joss Whedon made Barry Allen Wally West.
Yeah,
That's what he did.
Yeah.
it's dumb. Like Flash, yeah,
Which he still kind of, shades of that in this, but
yeah, a little bit, but like Rach said, I mean, him tapping into the Speed Force to where he's going back through time, like twice. He does it twice.
twice. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Like, and he hints at it. It was hinted throughout the movies. Like, I get, I have this rule. I don't like to go to the speed of light, and he does it. When they're resurrecting Superman, he's like, I'm gonna get as close as I can, and like see the cube come back, or the box come back up a little bit. I was like, oh, and then at the very end, like you're talking about, like him completely rewriting time, and all of them, like all their bodies, like coming back together. Like it was just a dope scene, like so amazing. So
Superman's whole arm,
yeah,
it was just like reformed, and that was so cool.
Yeah. It was like it was way cool when they were on Stryker Island too, like when after they got all the people out and like the building started to collapse and he's like catching all the debris, like that.
Catch up.
Oh my gosh, so good. So good. Yeah,
and they got rid of
I really
that
like the character,
family.
just not so much the actor.
Yeah, I wasn't so like Ezra Miller, like I was not sold on him when I first heard about him, but he's grown on me. Like I like him. Like he's definitely still not like who I would pick. He wouldn't be my first pick by any means, but I think he does a very good job at portraying the character.
I think he would be good. I think Zack Snyder was thinking ahead and thinking they need to find a Flash that can hold his own movie. In which I think Ezra Miller could do, and he would probably really shine in that role, in that movie.
Definitely.
If given the opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're at with that movie at this point in time.
Who knows? Apparently, I guess it's still greenlit. They're still, kind of working on things, but who knows? So yeah, let's move on to the final character of the Justice League, Cyborg. And
oh my gosh,
yeah,
he was awesome.
So many opinions.
Like, so yes, everybody.
He was the best part in the Justice League, in my opinion, in the first one too.
In the first one,
yeah, he's still the best part of this movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody said it. He is the heart of the movie. Like it's all like, I mean, it's not all about him, but he's like definitely.
I mean, at least like 35-40% of the movies, like from his perspective.
I mean, like, yeah, like his story arc, and I don't know, his story arc kind of, I don't know, it really hit home with me. Like the Frankenstein-esque monster simile that he has, like he's this monster created by his dad, a mad scientist, and he has to deal with his hate for himself, his hate for his creator, his hate for the world, and he has to deal
isolation from public, not being able to interact with everybody,
exactly,
not understanding the scope of what he's been going through,
trying to deal with these powers that he's been given, like that. His scene, like watching
this weird creepy thing in my closet that's just like pulsating and emitting like crazy lights and stuff.
And then the scene where he's watching the mother struggle and stuff, and really and helping her out and going and doing these things with technology that I wouldn't even think about that. Like Zack Snyder like made it so, I don't know, so much better than what we got in Justice League. Like,
what I found interesting is that there was there was a very clear explanation of who Victor Stone was before the accident.
Yeah.
With the scene where they're in the dean's office and his mother is telling him, like, my son is a genius, he's a hacker, and he has a good heart, and he was just trying to help this girl.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good kid, and he's a winner. He goes out there, he busts his, rear, and he wins. His dad is just never there, and it makes him sad. What I found also interesting is he was actually protecting his mom. He puts his arm out when the car is coming, which is the arm he ends up losing. The interactions with his dad were just, they made more sense. Especially the whole thing with the mother box.
Yeah.
The mother box trips on the car. Before, it was like the boom tube just appeared out of nowhere, took it off, and then that was it. He just had it. And he was like, oh, wow, you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
This one, his father sacrifices himself, and it lends to an Aquaman, what Aquaman says, we're expecting a kid who just watched his dad get killed to go and, basically fight against the universe's most difficult, technology.
Right. Supercomputer, yeah.
Right. I mean, oh my gosh, I could sit here and go on and on. I feel that his whole entire Ray Fisher's performance was exemplary. He did a fantastic job. It is a crying shame that it was cut out of the original.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that it's all been added back in, it gave so much more emotional gravitas. And also that part within the mother box where he splits it apart, and they're, it's trying to tempt him and talk him, into, basically giving in, and, we can make you whole again. You're broken, you're alone. And he's
he
like,
could essentially become Cyborg Superman.
Yes. It's awesome. It's so great.
I mean, there's so many ways they could take this. Zack Snyder could take this, like, all of them could be offered like Injustice Pass, and all of them would just be just as awesome.
Yeah, okay, and I said this before since watching the movie, but like everybody has slept on Cyborg hard, like everybody. I don't think anybody before this movie, if you'd ask them what their favorite Justice League member, even Teen Titans member, like nobody would say Cyborg. Nobody. Like, I've got to go. Like, I know after watching this movie, I'm like, dang, I've got to go back and I've got to read up on Cyborg, because like I didn't know he could do all. I mean, I knew that he had access to pretty much every computer, but like the way, like I was saying before, the way Zack Snyder portrayed it and made it and explained it in this film, like, just it opens up so many possibilities. Cyborg is so OP, it's crazy. The
way that was explained in the movie, by his dad, what you're doing right now is just the tip of the tip of the tip.
Mm-hmm.
That was brilliant storytelling. I mean, that was absolutely brilliant. And again, it really pisses me off that somebody thought it was a good idea to cut all of that out.
To make him
what are you thinking?
To make him essentially a sidekick, like, to the rest of them. Like it was so dumb. So dumb.
I just...
It is crazy.
And it took so much away from the plot of the movie too.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like all this movie was built around this character, and you're just gonna, take 80% of all of this away.
Exactly.
Make it some hollow shell of what it's supposed to be.
Like Ray Fisher, I know. I mean, he was one of the first. I don't think I believe Steppenwolf, Siran Hines, he was
Tyrion
actually,
Hines,
yeah,
yeah, he
Ciarán
was the
Hinds.
one.
He was the first one to like come out and protest against or to, advocate for the Snyder
Yep.
cut. But Ray Fisher, for obvious reasons, was not far behind him because they, like you said, they did him dirty, did him so dirty,
super dirty. Yeah.
Just crazy. All right, with the last 9 minutes or so that we've got on our Zoom meeting, let's talk about some of the things that were taken away that we saw in the Justice League version that we've kind of talked about. Brunch was was not included. That whole thing, and the what's
The whole
it?
family was missing.
Yeah, the
Yes,
whole
I kind of missed
That was
that
so
part.
stupid.
That was cool.
I
liked
didn't.
that one.
I didn't like the Russian family. Like that was.
It would have been nice to see, them saving some like innocent people from stuff. Like,
But at the same time, like it I think it was better that Steppenwolf set up shop in like essentially Chernobyl, somewhere uninhabitable, not even outcasts would go.
It made more sense.
It did. And why would people be living there anyway with such high
Right.
radiation? Plus, it mentioned that the mother boxes were feeding off that radiation to, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. The Russian family were okay, but I wasn't sad that they were gone.
I liked them a lot.
Uh,
I mean, I like the part when the Flash saved them. All the rest leading up to that was kind of, I didn't need any.
The whole the Gimli and Legolas competition of who was saving more, like that was cheesy to me. Like
yeah,
that was.
I just wanted
to
see him push him away on the truck.
And what did he say, Dostoevsky? Like that.
And then Superman, Superman coming across the screen with the building.
That was gone. Oh, the end scene too. The race. That was. I mean, that was.
Yeah, I mean, we were never going to get that answer in the first place.
It's
Right.
an obvious answer. Like Flash is way faster. Like, sorry.
The guy can run through time.
To a point.
Way faster.
That's
to a point. I mean, I think Superman might be fast in the physical world, but since the Flash got the Speed Force, he starts transcending time and space, so it's like different kind of fast.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's getting into theory.
Yeah, it's getting into some theory.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, so let's see. Falling on Wonder Woman's boobs, that was gone. And speaking of like going back to Wonder Woman, she like Joss Whedon made her essentially just something to look at. Like that's all
one note character.
Yeah, that's all she was in his movie. Batman quips, they were gone. CGI mustache, as we talked about. And let's see the speech that Batman.
We didn't get that stupid opening scene with his floating parademon.
Batman's speech to Flash, just save one person, like that.
I mean, Ben Affleck doesn't look totally sloshed this movie.
Doesn't look sloshed, no. He still has his mouth open, though. We talked about that in a watch party.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's like my one quip. That's like one qualm with Ben Affleck is Batman. Like he can't keep his mouth. Yeah, he's
maybe
like.
He's just got an overbite.
Maybe I was thinking about that too. Maybe the cow comes down like over and pinches his nose, so he like can't breathe or something. But I was like, shut your.
That's what I assumed.
Alfred,
shut your mouth,
I can't
man.
breathe.
But yeah, yeah. I think that's about it. We see. We talked about well, apparently today came out today on the 25th. The black and white version is on Max.
And I tell you what, I started watching it before this, and it probably is going to be my preferred Zack Snyder Justice League,
I mean,
and it's just so gorgeous. Oh my god!
when they
Like it really is.
when they released the black and chrome version of Mad Max, like that one's it's gorgeous as well.
Ew.
It's like it's crazy. And like I said, I was telling Eric this before we started, but apparently they released this because this is like the movie. This is the version that Zack Snyder watched for over 2 years while he was editing. Just like for some reason, he didn't have the colored version. He only had black and white version, but whatevs. That's cool. And yeah, we're wrapping all this up, like bringing this back to apparently
back to hashtag restore the Snyder.
Hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
I already shared it today, and I will share it every day if I have to.
I'm like, this is gonna be one of my main missions with this podcast. Is like I'm going to be a pebble in the ocean, more than likely, but I'm gonna do my part. Like I'm advocating for hashtag restore the Snyderverse. We need to see what happens.
110%, man.
Oh my gosh,
they'd be stupid
Absolutely.
to pass up on this. I'm sure they can do it on a good budget.
They would make so much money.
They have AT&T backing them now. I think that's the only reason we got the Snyder from WB was because of the AT&T.
And like I said, even if they only release stuff on HBO Max, like that would be fine. It'd be fine with me. I don't care. I just want to see it. That's it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me either. If I have to pay $15 a month to watch it, fine. I will pay it. I will pay it gladly, just so I can sit there and just watch it while I go to sleep. I don't care. This is what I mean. I don't know. I grew up like a DC fan. My grandpa loved Superman. My first comic book movies were all, DC movies. Like, this is what I've been wanting to see, like, my whole life. And it's perfect. And I just want more. Like,
this is what I grew up, reading and watching throughout my whole life, just like on the big screen. And it totally works. It's amazing.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Such a great experience to see it up there.
I mean,
and executed so beautifully. And just
you
awesome.
Can tell the guy gives a crap about what he's doing. Like, he cares about the material. He cares about these characters. They mean
He's an
something.
artist.
He is.
Absolutely.
He is.
Absolutely.
He most definitely is. Well, we got a couple minutes left, so we're going to wrap things up. Thank you, Racheline and Eric, for joining this this historical podcast for the FOF community. We'll get you back on again in the future, no doubt. I think I have a clip recorded for all my outros, so we won't do all that. But again, thank you for joining us. And hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
Hashtag.
Thanks for listening, UFOFers. If you like what you heard, follow and subscribe, and be sure to share and review wherever you listen. Be sure to check us out on Facebook in our 2 different locations, the first being our group and the second being our official podcast page. Follow us on Twitter at the FOF Pod, and email us with any questions, comments, or ideas you may have at thefof.pod@gmail.com. Music is provided by my brother Hayden at twostepcuts.com. Check him out for any of your music editing needs. Be sure to check out and pick up an official FOF Pod t-shirt at storefrontier.com/the FOF Pod.